Hello guys, good morning all of you. I warmly welcome to all of you for today's session. Code VDK sir once again. So in today's session we are going to discuss about the file handling and exception handling. So what is the file handling? Why we are going to use it? What is the major use of the file handling in Python or rest of programming language, Python, even Java, any specific programming languages? And second one, we're going to discuss about the exception handling, how to handle the exception in program, right? So let's start. So in this session, you will learn to identify the need for data persistence in program, open read and write the content to the file, and search content in a file and handle the errors in Python. Okay. So data persistence, as you can see here, like first of all, like input output devices you need it, right? CPU central processing unit and main memory that is called primary memory, secondary memory, right? And network. So main memory means you're talking about the RAM. Secondary memory, I mean talking about the ROM. So you can see once the power is turned off, data is stored in the CPU or main memories. Okay. So main memory is erased. Secondary memory is files is not raised even when the power is turned off. Right. So this is your data, how data going to process by the input and output devices, central processing unit, how data processing in CPU, how data going to the main memory, I mean primary, and how data transfer to the secondary memory. So once you turn off your computer, data transfer to the secondary memory. Okay. Persistent is ability to store data as an object in a permanent location such as a file or a database. Obviously, permanently we just store the data even in databases. Like a database, if we talk about SQL Server, Oracle, MongoDB, MySQL, any specific one, Postgre, right? So you can see writing to a file. Obviously, we just write in the file and write to a database and save it, right? File is used to save the data permanently on a disk. Obviously, save your data in hard disk or SSD. File is a collection of data stored in disk with a specific name and directory path. Directory means your path, folder path, which one you're going to use. So you can see read data. Right? Obviously, in file, what you are doing, first of all, if you want to read data, so you have to read the file, write the file, search the data. So before read, write, search the data, what we have to do first? First, we have to open the particular file. Once you open, then you can read. Once you open the file, then you can write inside the file. Once you open the file, then you can search inside the file. Right? So file must be open before reading or writing content. Just now I told you guys, right? So before reading or writing, you have to open the file first. So open, then file name, open function you have to use. If the open command is successful, OS return the file handle. If the file does not exist, it's fail with the trackback. Obviously, if file is existing, right, then it will going to be open. Otherwise, it will fail track. Next. Like you can say case one file existing. So if file existing is just going to be successful, right? Case two, if file do not exist, I mean file if not existing, so you get an error, file not found. Okay, you can see such a directory and path. Suppose I make a folder DK student. In that folder, I save the file like a DK student. And if file existing in that particular folder, obviously it able to read. If not existing, obviously it will not read. Text file is like a treated as a sequence of lines and like you can see backward slash and represent the new line character in the Python like I already taught in previous videos as well like backward slash and use for the new line, backward slash T for the tab, right? Backward slash B for the backspace. So as you can see backward slash and once used it just go to the break the line for the new line. See hello world. Example code to read the data from a file. Like you can see file handling open method like mbox does txt count 0. For line in the like file handling count equals to count plus 1. Like in loop I taught you guys plus plus and minus minus. Once you do the plus it will always increase the values till condition not satisfied. Once condition satisfied it will exit from the loop, right? So for loop used to file handle, count the number of lines, right, as per your condition. Read only one line at a time. Obviously, it will satisfy the condition one at a time. And efficiently read and count the line in the last file. Using a string slicing to print out the first specified character. So here you can see file open my text.txt, input file open read. So here you given like you can see slicing return the number range of character, right? So print the 10 character from the file, hence the out but sub w space is also considered in the character. So whatever in a file, the text going to be read. To search data, if you want to search the data, right? So if you specify condition, you will start with the to specify the extract, match, and required. Okay, so this one is just going to search the data in this example. Find if you want to find out. So in that case, you're going to use the find method. Okay. Used to simulate the text editor search the file lines and whether the search string is found. Okay. So in that case, you're going to use this one. Dynamically accept the file name for the user. So as you can see, dynamically you can also going to use file name like enter your file name, open. Then again, you have to just use the loop for the count it. So print where the count subject line is like first name. So enter the file name like text.txt, and there was file subject line in the file text. Writing to a file. If you want to write something in the file, so you can write as well. So it is used to write the content to the file. To write file must be open with the mode W. Obviously, once you want to write in file, you have to use W mode. Once you want to read, you have to use R mode. Okay. Once you want to append A mode. So there are different kinds of mode I will going to discuss further. I will write it for you guys. So if the file does not exist, this will create the file and write to the data in the file. If the file exists, the existing data will be overwritten. Okay. So as you can see here, output.txtw find out and line 1. Here you can see backwards and find the right dot line 1. So there we wallet. So to read and write the data from file mode should be what mode going to be? Read and write. So for read R, for write W. So what is the right answer going to be R and W as you can see here. Here is some activities given. So this was the file handling theory part we covered up. Okay. Next we're going for the exception handling. Guys, first we finish the theory part. After then we go for the practical. What do you mean by exception handling? Why we are doing exception handling in programming languages? What is the requirement of this? So an exception is an event which occurs during the execution of program that stop the normal flow of the program instruction. When Python script is exception is must either handle or terminate, right? So obviously exception going to just stop the normal execution of the program, right? To just stop the flow of the program. Exception are the handle using try and except keywords. So as you can see here, like with exception parameter, try keywords and except keywords. Okay. Example, implementing a code without exception handling. So if you implement like in Java, C++, we are using try, catch, and finally, whereas in Python, you're going to use a try and except, you're going to use the else as well and finally. Okay. So what try catch does basically, let me open and show you guys here. Like here, if we talk about exception handling, so there's a block like try block, any programming language, try block. So this was like this, curly braces, and it's the block where you can write the code. If try block not able to handle the error, it will go to the catch block. See, catch. Whoever done the Java, C++, they know catch. And after, if catch not able to handle, then go to the final. Okay, finally block. This one. Okay. But in Python, going to try and accept only. But just for the knowledge, like if you go for interviewer ask, okay, where we are using the catch block. So if you already like CS background students, we already know about try, catch, finally. Whoever already aware to C, C++, and Java and rest of programming languages. So there we're doing the exception. Like here is a throws, right? In Java, a C++, you use the keyword. But in Python, going to the try and accept. But just for the knowledge, So example, implementing a code without exception handling. So if you apply without exception handling, so you can see here the above code throw error which could not be handled by Python script, right? Next, what is a implementing code with exception handling? So as you can see, once you apply with exception handling, try, except, else. So appropriate error messages using try and except keyword. Here you can see it is also possible to handle multiple exception using single except statement. Okay, single except keyword you can use, and you are able to handle the multiple errors. Next one, raise statement. Example, what raise basically the raise like basically where errors raise where errors come. In that case, you have to use the raise statement. We can use raise to throw an exception if condition occurs. If you want to throw an error when like a certain condition occurs, we can use the raise keywords. So here you can see we given certain example like try block is input, enter input, enter the age. If age you can see here less than 18, so obviously if less than 18 there is exception. So where you want you can just mention like else print age is valid, except again exception print age is not valid. So where points you want to raise, you can use it. Asset statement, you're going to assert statement can also have the condition and optional error messages. If the condition is not satisfied, assert stop the program and give you assertion error along with the error message. Okay. So here for the assertion example, we're going to see practically in the brief. This is only theory parts. So you can see to handle error, we should use the keywords, right? So just now I told you guys, except, try and accept keyword you have to use. So let's see the answer, try and accept. Okay, this is activities. So this is all about your file handling and exception handling, right? In your Python. In next videos, we are going to see practically how we're going to do this. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. Then see you next video.